begin with a developing story, the latest on the reconstruction of the Broad Street Market in Harrisburg. Today, one of the walls there collapsed. Dennis Owens joins us live in Harrisburg with the details. Good afternoon, Dennis.
Good afternoon to you, James. This very historic building can't catch a break. A fire 2.5 years ago, of course, reconstruction, I should say, had begun a couple of weeks ago, but this morning, quite a dramatic turn of events. A wall on the one part collapses. As you can see up there, just to give you perspective, up there is where the bigger building was, the brick building that had burned. There was an outbuilding coming off of that, and that's where this wall has collapsed. I've got Ralph Rodriguez. Fortunately, he had come out. You had just taken your son to school on the 2-hour delay. He's on Harrisburg City Council, but also Public Works Chairman.
Absolutely.
What do we know? What's going on here?
So what it seems like, and once again, I'm not a professional, but Mr. Owens, it just seems like the actual beams that were holding up the integrity of this monumental historic wall, maybe due to the sub-freezing temperatures or just the wind chill, kind of lost the support, snapped at the bases of the support, and pushed in. So once again, a bad break for the historic building, but I want to encourage everyone to stay positive, and that, helps on the way.
And of course, there was a number of engineers. There's some folks out here from the construction. I did talk to one of them. They said it's a foundation problem, that the foundation is so weak inside there. Perhaps it's the cold temperatures, but the bottom line is, as they say in sports, Father Time is undefeated. Well, Father Time has taken a toll on this building. Of course, the fire did as well. And perhaps as they were trying to do some rebuilding, there's some jostling that goes on there as well. The big question, we do not have an answer right now. Do you just now knock down, because Nick, just give him a shot. You see there's now a wall there that goes on out to the street. I mean, can you fix this section that fell down? Is that even worth it to try, or do you just knock that down and build a new one? These are all questions that have to be answered.
Absolutely, Dennis, and hopefully these are questions that Alexander, the project manager, would have the answers to once council really takes a dive deep on this. And I know this evening we have a session and a lot of these questions will be brought up.
And I can tell you, I was just told there's about a 1 o'clock meeting today too. I'm not sure who all is involved in that. It's just a 1 o'clock meeting here to look at the situation and assess the damage. But I can tell you that wall has crumbled. It has collapsed. It's well over 100 years old. Is it worth it to try to fix that section again, or is that now calling into jeopardy this out part? And perhaps one of the decisions is, again, let's go back over to this part of the building over here. Perhaps you just start the new Broad Street Market from there on. I don't know. Again, we don't have answers, right?
Not yet. Hopefully we're going to have to take some surveys or look into a deep dive of the surveys we already have done. Look at the integrity of the flooring to see if the weather, because if the weather is going to play a factor in that, even when we get the building up and running, it's still going to play a factor. So these are key answers that we need this evening, and we hopefully, council will be on point asking these questions for the residents.
Thank you very much for taking the time. I appreciate it. But once again, James, lots more questions and answers pertaining to this Broad Street Market. I do want to note for our viewers that it was moments after this happened that our good friend James Crummell was getting alerts from his many sources in the city of Harrisburg that something had happened here at the Broad Street Market. I was on my way down to the Capitol, so off an M, and just stopped to check out the damage. But as you can see, pretty significant happening here on that collapsed wall at the historic Broad Street Market. One more setback in the attempt to try to get this place up and running to its once grandeur. Let's send it back to you.
I mean, Dennis, as you said there, they just can't catch a break with this market ever since that fire 2.5 years ago. I mean, just to look at it now, still pieces now crumbling to the ground. And the other big question is, will this set back the whole timetable of when this even can be done?
Or does it just change their whole philosophy and what they're going to do here? And maybe you just come to the conclusion that, trying to be completely within the parameters, everybody wants to preserve an older facility and an older structure, but sometimes the older structure says, check, please, I'm out. No, it's no ill will by anyone, but, James, it'll come as no surprise to you. Things age. I'm a perfect example of that, having broadcast here for 32 years. We get a little older as we do things, and we're not as quick, and we're not as, whatever. I don't know how I got onto that crazy tangent, but the bottom line is it's an older structure, and dealing with it has its challenges, and we're seeing one of those challenges behind me right now.
Well, Dennis, unlike the market, you are only getting better with age. So we appreciate you being there this afternoon for us. Dennis Owens, live in Harrisburg. Thank you so much for that this afternoon. All right.
Hi, I'm Eric Finkenbinder from ABC27. We're excited to announce the new ABC27 News Plus app. Live stream newscasts or watch content on demand. This is different than the ABC27 app on your smartphone. You can check this out at home, and it's very easy to use. With a Fire Stick, go to the home page, scroll down to search. From there, enter ABC27. Move over to the apps, and there we are. Click the icon and install. It's just that easy.